So nice to see everyone. Hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. I am outside because my house is really loud right now. Even though it's kind of loud out here with these birds. Um, I'm hoping it'll be okay for today's live as we talk about a common startup debate between choosing between a home bakery or a more of a commercial storefront, ghost kitchen, something similar. I want to cover this topic because I hear a lot of back and forth about it. And let's see. Okay. Looks like I can see comments. If you have comments today, great. Go ahead and throw up your hashtag replay if you're viewing on the replay. Throw up your hashtag live if you're on the live. And let me know in the comments, do you have a home bakery? Do you have a commercial bakery? Or are you still planning a bakery? Let me know. If we've never met before, by the way, I'm Melissa. I am the main mentor, the founder of Build a Better Bakery, who runs this group here on Facebook, the Bakery Business School. And what I like to do is help fellow bakers cultivate their confidence, which is really important to run a business as you start and grow. So this group is for people just getting started and also people who are multiple years in. They're looking for support. They have questions. I'm here for that too. And one of the things we like to focus on is helping you generate more income so you can stay open, but also avoiding burnout. It's really important. So here at Build a Better Bakery, we've been theming our months with different topics for each, or a topic for per month, but a different piece of it each week. And this month is common startup debates for January because I know a lot of people jump in and decide, hey, I'm not getting any younger, or this is my chance, I'm going to start my business. When it comes to location of your bakery, there's just a lot of questions that need to be answered. Lots of factors to consider. So that free 20-minute mentorship call that I give to every baker that comes into the group, that's available for you. So if you haven't used it already, it's my Calendly link, which you can send me a DM or comment here. I can just send that to you. You can sign up for it. We can talk about it. I do see a lot of new bakers quickly jumping to the idea of a commercial bakery. It's a romantic idea. It's like rose-colored glasses kind of thing. And it may or may not really be what you need, though. Also, I see a lot of seasoned bakers move from home to storefront without really knowing the ins and outs and how that's going to change their everyday life. So also, I'm here to help with that as well. This information is really meant for people who are on the fence or are curious for the future. What kind of move should you make? I'd like to cover the main pros and cons for 3 different areas so you can choose the best option for your baking setup. At the end, I'm going to be offering a special, it's kind of like an opportunity for anyone who wants more information on commercial baking. It's going to be available for 24 hours because it's quite a deal. So I can't leave it up too long, but I want for those of you who come live or who like to view these videos right away, which I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. These like discounts and opportunities are for those people. And that's what you're going to see at the end. All right, to stay in the know about these lives, if you'd like to, you can check the events in the group. I like to post around right before a new month starts. I like to post what's happening every week, which you'll see for February coming up soon. You can also send Melissa Freyer, that's me, a request on Facebook so I can accept it. And then you should get automatic invites to the events when they're made. You can hang out on our free email list where you'll get updates and also direct replay links of these videos, but they come at a later date. So you definitely won't see likely these opportunities in time, but if you just really want the content, that's a good way to get it. Or you can subscribe to us on YouTube, which I would suggest for anybody because not all, but most of the replays are there. It's kind of like an on-demand catalog. It's a really great way to keep them all situated in a public arena. So that's a great place to be too. I like to go live every Thursday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time right here in the Bakery Business School group to make sure that you're getting new, fresh content. It's really important to me because I want to support your journey. Okay, so let's hop in with the first category of time. If you have questions while we're doing this, go ahead and put it in the comments, or even at a later date, if you're on the replay, go ahead and throw it in the comments. So time is a big one. People often are either looking for more time, less time. There's various reasons why this is important. So a pro for this is if you're going to move to commercial, you'll be able to become possibly more focused with your time in a storefront, ghost kitchen, anything that's away from home. Unless you have a completely quiet house with really nothing much going on, you're almost always going to have more quiet time in another location. And sometimes just mentally, it helps to go to work if you're going to, to stay on task. That's usually helps some people, especially people like me who deal with some anxiety. Sometimes that can be helpful. As a cottage baker, the pro for you is you'll be able to save time on many fronts that a commercial business would not. So you're not going to have a commute every day. When you take care of things at home, like let's say you cleaned your kitchen, it's done for both business and kitchen. So you're kind of doubling up on tasks. Now, a con for time when it comes to commercial is yes, you're going to possibly have more time to think and work, but you'll also likely be putting in more time in general, just simply keeping up the space for commercial standards. Those things can be more time consuming than just cleaning a kitchen. You might have to do things like installing, a handrail or cleaning out a grease trap or dealing with a vent situation, things that you wouldn't necessarily have to do in a home. And you can't double up. So, you could clean your kitchen really well at the commercial kitchen, but then you get home and that kitchen's messy. So you got multiple kitchens to clean. And if you have a location with a storefront that allows walk-ins or generally anybody coming in, unless you have an employee to take care of them, you are going to get interrupted a lot. It can be a real problem. So really kind of think about, do you want walk-ins? If you do, are you able to hire somebody? How is that going to work? Plus dealing with other things, right? When we're doing commercial, that might be payroll, dealing with employees' time schedules, dealing with more customers, just generally more foot traffic. All of that's going to eat up more of your time and some of the focus that I just mentioned earlier. And of course, you're going to be commuting if it's not located on your property. So there's just more time. If you do not want an 8 to 12 hour a day job, you probably don't want a commercial operation. If you want a commercial operation, but you want to hire out and not actually work in it, that's a different story. So this is mostly for people who are still trying to bake, still trying to be a part of your business. You're going to be working all day, basically. I've worked in plenty of commercial kitchens and I've never seen like an owner or a manager not be there all the time unless they have hired out, other managers that take care of bigger tasks. But even in that, they're still there at least, 5 hours a day dealing with managerial stuff. So now as a home baker, a con for you is that time easily gets away. That's just kind of part of working from home and you can get consumed with other household tasks. It's hard to get away from everything that you need to do. And this happens often, another example is when planning isn't as efficient as possible. So maybe you have to end up going out of the house multiple times a day instead of just once. And you're spending all this time running around. Or, if your family is of the age or persuasion to continuously be in your way or asking you for things, that's kind of where I'm at, and have been for years. So, that can cause interruptions as well. Okay, let's move on to number 2, which is space. So a pro for the commercial space is you'll likely be able to spread out. If you're working from home and you're getting busy, you probably feel kind of cramped up unless you have a larger home. Your personal items will be out of the way. That's kind of a big thing. And you're only going to have work-related items in the space. So you're not going to be worried about contamination or getting things messed up or breaking things that are of our personal value, even if your working space is small. So a lot of times the first kitchen that you rent or buy is likely going to be smaller than as you work through, you might end up getting a bigger space later. So this could be great for a person who outgrew their home. That happens a lot, or was just uncomfortable working in the home space due to things like pets or kids or other home related issues. You might have like a spouse or a roommate who doesn't really appreciate it, you being in the kitchen all the time, that kind of thing. So, there could be other things that you might want to get away from. So home bakers can often have multiple use. A pro for them for the space is they can often have multiple use tools and spaces. So your hallway is something, it could just be a hallway most of the time, but you could also use it as maybe like a rolling bin area when you're baking. That, a little part of the room that's kind of attached to the kitchen. So having multi-use space is important. Or let's say you have a $600 mixer, it's for work and you use it for work, but it's at your home and it's a home mixer. Excuse me. I don't have a Kleenex with me. And for home, meaning you don't have to own 2 mixers or move mixers around or deal with multiple tools, which is a big deal for me as a military spouse. I don't need or want multiple of everything. If I could do everything with one tool, that's what I'm going to do. Plus, your space at home might be more flexible. So you might be able to move things around or change things, and even be more comfortable. Let's say it's a commercial space where you may not be able to control the lighting very well, or the temperature, or the noise level, or the location, or the safety. There's lots of things that happen when you leave your home. So those are some things that is a pro for a home baker, is you can really be more comfortable in the space most of the time. Now a con for the commercial space comes with the price. I think that's really the biggest thing to consider in most cases. You'll likely be paying close to, if not your highest bill on rent. Payroll may come first if you have employees. And with this bill comes the pressure to make and sell more product to keep up. So, it's kind of a twofold issue. If you live in an area with lower rents, it's an easier yes, because, a couple $100, okay, you can have an extra sale during the week or something like that. But if rent is really high and we're talking about thousands upon thousands of dollars, maybe consider sharing the space with another baker, which is, you might find a person who will rent the space overnight or something like that to help with bills. Or you can rent out areas of your location for classes, or where artists can sell their work on the wall. Anything to help boost income outside of baking. I have other ideas on that, but that's just kind of a place to start to help you consider how can you take care of that bill. For home bakers, a con is the space is often cramped. It's really hard to find, unless the house is really big and you just ended up having like a whole room to yourself. It's usually kind of cramped, and there's just usually not enough room. Or maybe your personal items are just in the way of working. That happens a lot, but there just isn't anywhere anywhere else for them to go. So storage is a problem. That's pretty common. And this is where just a good storage solution might help out. Or purging to get rid of unused items is a great idea if you've kind of held on to a lot of stuff that you're not really using. And we like to focus on this in the elite program because it is such an issue with home bakers being comfortable. In fact, our organization coach Claire is making the elites their very own organization calendar to follow for inspiration in February. So we're excited about that. And that's an example of what our elite program is about. Each month, a coach comes in and gives you either an asset, like a piece of content, or a live session or a training to help you just be better at what you're doing. And this month, we're definitely focusing on organization, especially after the spring, as the spring cleaning vibe wears down. Okay, moving on to number 3. We're talking about money. Now, again, this is usually the first question I get, but I'm leaving it till the end just so we could talk about the other 2. So a pro for this, when the space is considered commercial, you'll be in a different game than the cottage bakers. So you'll have more rules to stick to stay commercial. Likely there's going to be other boxes to check, but you'll now be able to dip into many different markets to make more money. So that's one big reason why a lot of people decide to go commercial. This could look like wholesale, retail, shipping, etc. So many options to grow and expand your business with commercial. That's really one of the hallmarks of it. Now, a pro for money for cottage bakers is you'll be able to freely make that income without having to spend much on overhead. We talked about the rent for commercial. That could be a big deal. And since you're sharing bills with the house, you have less bills there. And there's really no outright rent bill usually when you're working from home. So more of the money that you make, even if you're making less of it, more of it is going to stay with you. Now, a con for commercial bakers is on top of the cost of the space. For commercial, you'll likely be in the hole for other money. So it's not just that. Paying employees is almost always one of the first things that a commercial baker does, because you're going to likely need some help, which is great, but it can cost a lot over time. And like I said, payroll is usually your number 1 bill. Sometimes it's rent, they flip-flop. You'll also have double bills. So you're going to have 2 electricity bills, things like that. The potential gain and loss, the potential for gain and for loss is just much larger going commercial. So if you're looking to grow and you're looking to get out there, that's really the best way to do it. Now, as a cottage baker, a con for you would likely be that you'll have to stay smaller. And this is under certain amounts earned. Some states say you can only have so much. And you'll likely have restrictions on how you can sell to the wider public. So this varies by location. Your ability to make money can be slim as a home baker and may not fit what you want to do with your business. So there's some things that happen with that you may or may not love. But you know, if the risks are too high, this is what you'll be dealing with. So to recap, commercial baking is higher risk and higher reward. Really, it's kind of the basics, with likely more money out the door and more tasks added to your plate. So if you have the time and you have the money, it could be a great opportunity. But also you might be in for more recognition and maybe even more opportunities because you're kind of, you're allowed to do more usually. And that could put you in more situations to get more opportunity. Home baking is safer. It is just a safer bet all around, but might not fit the lifestyle of some people. Sometimes it's really hard to work from home, especially baking from home for some people. And the ability to grow really might be hindered by your laws. So that's kind of, you know, case by case basis. If you have questions about this, just post them here and we can discuss, or you can even post them in the main group. So I don't see any questions coming in for today, and I'm always here to help you inside the group. Go ahead and post. We can set up that 20-minute free call. Everyone gets one, or I have longer form calls that you can sign up for that are paid, but also contain more. So just any private coaching I'm up for, or Inside the Cottage to Commercial course, which is taking a person who knows very little about commercial baking or has interest in it to someone who has specific information in hand that often takes 1 to 5 years to learn. So what we're doing is we're giving you a 5-year head start essentially on running your business. So if that sounds like it's worth about an hour of your time and a few dollars, then I think we make a good team when it comes to learning about commercial baking. Those who have taken the course said that it was full of so many useful topics that they'd never even considered, likely because they've never done it before. And we're so glad to have all the pieces together. So when they do open, they'll have less questions. And there's also those extra included mentorship services in the course that's going to help them throughout the process as they get started. So they felt really supported with that. To get the lifetime limited time offer available, it's 24 hours. So I'm going to take it down January 26th, end of day. So tomorrow at the end of the day, you're going to input code half-off-Jan. And I'm going to copy this for you. Half-off-Jan at this link for the course, and it's valid until January 26th, end of day. Let me put that down for you. Okay, so anyone's welcome to grab that. Like I said, it's just the 24-hour offer. This is for anyone who's interested in learning about commercial baking, even if you're not ready or you're not sure. It's meant to help you get off the fence. All right, so that's all for today's home versus cottage bakery topic. I will be creating a post for y'all at around 9 a.m. Mountain Time over the next few Thursday mornings, and probably instead of a live, due to a family obligation that's going to last a few weeks. So I still want to be here for you, but I might not be able to actually do a live video. And if I can make it live, I will, but I'll go ahead and put the events up. You can see what we're going to be talking about, and it might just be a recorded video for you to watch. Next Tuesday is going to be the 1st in February, and we're going to be starting on a new topic, which is going to be simple tax prep tips. I'm getting questions about this, and I just want to share, I'm not a tax preparer, but I want to share a few things that you can do now to get ready that you might not have considered that could help you save hours upon hours of time whenever you decide to put your taxes in. So we're going to be talking about that in February. I also wanted to mention that the bite-sized workshops for Q1 are now available for registration if you're interested. I know some of you were. We are covering professional mindset, pricing mindset, and menu mindset in 3 different workshops. And that's to gear you up for 2024, both mentally and emotionally. So I can give you all the tools to do things, but if you're not emotionally available for that information, it's going to be hard, or mentally available for it. So this is just to get you in the vibe of, hey, we're going to make it happen this year. There, you can get them. The first one has already happened, so it's available as a recording, and the other 2 are still February and March. They're still going to be live. You can see all of those options on the website. I'll share that with you too. Or there's a bundle deal where you can get all 3 and you can save some money too. So that's for you. I've posted it in the group there, and